Bang, there we go. Like a bolt of lightning right up that line. Well, that's a trout right there. Man, look at that speckled trout number. Boys and girls, folks at home, we are here at Cypress Cove Marina this morning, and we're gonna do Venice again. Because last time the weather wasn't that great. Conditions just weren't that great. As a neap tide, you know. Leave that right there, how about that? It was a neap tide, but today's a little different. We got like a 1.3 foot falling tide. Range will be falling to about lunchtime, depending on where we're at. Because I'm gonna be everywhere. I'm gonna be everywhere. It depends on what happens, but I plan on being everywhere from Bay Venice and Venice all the way down to First Spillway to the jump to friggin' Yellow Cotton Bay to South Pass. So conditions, it's gonna be sunny, partly cloudy. I already mentioned the tide. Tide's gonna be falling. River is at like 2.5 foot, something like that. And so it went up. If you remember last time I was fishing, I was trying to get out there before the river came up. I didn't know if it was gonna come back down. For sure, I did not know if it was gonna come back down or not. And she did, but I don't know how well she cleaned up. On satellite imagery, it looks like she did. I did get some reports here and there that the fish, the speckled trout, got back in the river. They were pushed out, but they got back in. And then I think I'll be able to catch them in the jump. Anyway, all right, so I'll get to that. Water temperature here is 60 degrees, which is a far cry from Dularge, where I fished yesterday, where it was like 63, 64 degrees. But that's still a little bit warmer than, you know, like when I fished Gohagen earlier in the week, or was it last week, when it was like 57, 59. So, you know, it's December 17th, 6:43 a.m. and we have fall fishing temperatures. But I think the shrimp have mostly run out, so those speckled trout are probably on fin fish now. Probably not too many shrimp left. Oh, the wind's going to be blowing, what, like out of the east, 5-10 miles per hour, maybe more. But that shouldn't keep me from running anywhere. Remember last time it was kind of windy and it was raining. We're not going to put up with that today. My life is going to be, you know, knock on wood, is going to be a lot easier today. So what I want to do is go to a community honey hole that is not secret at all, called the Jump, and go there and fish at. And the idea is that I'll be able to get in there, catch a limited speckled trout, and go explore the rest of Venice. If it works out that way, then today will actually be 2 videos. The first video will be the Jump, then after that we're gonna go explore, like what we did in Dularge yesterday, where we went to the community honey hole known as Lake Decad, whacked him, and then went and took a ride. So that's what we're gonna do today. Now, let's see. Just some safety precautions, you know, like I'm all the frick the way out here at the end of the world. I'm probably going to get even further down in the end of the world. I'm going to push the envelope for what's acceptable in a little bass boat like this one. So I have obviously my PFD on, kill switch attached. I also have let me get it. I also have clipped to my PFD a Garmin InReach 2, which is a satellite communicator. That I need to, ask me later about that update. Which is a satellite communicator where it has like a web page that's password protected, that people who have that password can go see where I am. And I can also send and receive text messages. So I can say, hey, come and get me, or anything, or whatever. I also left a float plan with one of my Army buddies who knows to, if the sun goes down and he hasn't heard back from me yet, he knows to call the Coast Guard and basically tell them, hey, this guy could be anywhere from Bay Venice to Southwest Pass. but that's better than nothing, right? It's a hell of a lot better than what we used to run with. I'm excited. Guys, I've been in full-blown winter fishing, South Louisiana warrior mode. You know, I drove to friggin' Dularge yesterday, ran all over, about fished all day, then drove back, had just enough time to recock the cameras, recock the boat, do tackle, and get in bed, get some sleep, and then get up and 3 a.m. wake up, and then get out here. It's a little foggy. That might play a little bit of havoc on the cameras, but whatever. You know, man, something I probably ought to do right now is, given the condition of the fog, is throw my nav lights up, because it's actually lower vis than what I thought it was going to be. How's this camera doing? Point it up a little bit there. How about that? All right. Well, I'm just gonna follow that guy. Follow these gentlemen. And we're gonna get wet. Little traffic congestion here today, this morning. Definitely kicking myself in the ass for not getting out here sooner, but hopefully all these guys are not going to fish the jump. Hopefully they're going to go somewhere else. Boys, and there's just boys and girls, folks at home, there's just a ton of birds out here. All right, we're in the spot. All right. So you know what? I'm going to leave that motor running just in case. Water looks pretty. It looks good enough. Actually, let me now let's get off to the side a little bit. It appears that the water it looks much lower than what it was last time I was here, which is good. We're good, all the cameras are good. All right, let's kick this pig. Look, this is what we're fishing with. Heavy drop shot, 1 ounce bank sinker. It's just a drop shot that's made a little bit heavier, that's all. Chartreuse sparkle beetle. We know the speckled trout love the chartreuse. Everyone's got a fancy bait nowadays. I'm sure they all catch fish, but this one's been catching fish longer than any of them. And I'm hung up. First cast, there we go. That's the way to do it, boys and girls. Let's get hung up. That's what I get for casting out in front of the boat. So what I'm gonna do is put this rod down, because there's a little, you kind of want to move with a purpose this morning, because if they're not here, then we need to get the hell out of here and go somewhere else. So I already have another rod rigged up, exact same rig, ready to go, but I'm not going to cast in front of the boat. And the reason for that is that as that bait is going along the bottom, it might snag something. There's a bunch of stuff down there for it to snag. If you're hanging off the back of the boat, it kind of lifts up a little bit, if that makes sense, with the current. You're less likely to get snagged. Yeah, back there with that little bit of traffic congestion, you get people that are like, oh, I don't know what to do. Should I go down plane? Should I go fast? Should I go left? Should I go? Or just go, man. Just get out of the way. Something I learned in like this high-speed driving course I went to years ago is like you see people who get in wrecks and maybe like they're wrapped around a tree or something. Well, the reason they're wrapped around the tree is because they were looking at the tree. Like, you're going to go, the vehicle is going to go where you're looking. And if you're sitting there looking at the other boats and their wakes that are next to you, well, guess where your boat's going to end up? At those other boats and where the wake is. That's why I pulled out and got away from them. And I got on plane, just put as much space between me and the slow pokes as I could. Because then, if there's a mile of distance between me and them, we can't hit each other. It's that easy. Man. You know, I'm not seeing tons of bait balls on the graph. That kind of makes me a little apprehensive. Last year we did really good here in the jump, but you know, I heard some good reports out of here, and now I'm just worried that it may not be that great. I might just have to go somewhere else. Now, I'm not going to give up on the jump. I'm not going to fish this spot and not catch them. Like there's some, here we go. There's some real estate down that way I want to look at. A little fish, not, come on, Venice. This is Venice, man. We don't do these little trout. But it barely keeps. but it barely keeps. Now, I am not keeping speckled trout in the spirit of conservation and showing everyone it's okay to put fish back in the water. And because I already have a lot of vacuum packed trout back home, this is speckled trout number 1. But it's kind of like, I want to see fish are about 5 inches longer than that one. If you remember my last video I shot here, it's like friggin' 4 hours long. If you watched that, thank you. You are a warrior. I caught my limit, but it was a grind. It was like the last spot of the day, and it was not fast. Just had to sit there. It was a consistent pattern, but it was not fast. There we go. That's consistent. Ooh. Let it drop back down. This is the beauty of using live bait. You get bit and you miss it, just drop it back down. And this is the beauty of not using live bait, using artificials. Using artificial lures. Now, look at the color of this fish. See how pale it is? That's kind of a pale speckled trout. When you catch speckled trout that are in like clear water, they tend to be darker. Like we call them black betties. Like there's marsh speckled trout. They're like just gold and black. Speckled trout number 2. Bang. So it reminds me a lot of like fishing bass in the river. I say the river, I mean Pearl River, Mississippi, whatever. Hang on real quick, just this easy. Just drop it off the back of the boat. So those fish are down there and they've been down there. So they've been in here for a minute. There we go. Oh, drop it back down. Just kind of deal with me because I'm just going to be a stream of consciousness for a little bit, and you're just going to get a bunch of information, and feel free to scrub it back through this to get it all in. So this lure that I'm fishing with, this rig I'm fishing with, is called a heavy drop shot. You kind of saw it earlier, right? I'm just getting that bait back down there. The sooner we catch the limit, the sooner we can move on to bigger and better things. And I have instructions on how to tie it and how to fish it too, and this one YouTube video that I'll have linked up below. But if you go looking for it on my other channel, Captain Devin Fishing, or just search for heavy drop shot, or go to my website lafishblog.com, there's instructions there. Back in the water you go, bud. Thank you for making your appearance on YouTube today. Number 3. Oh, and you know what? I kind of forgot to introduce myself. I was just kind of in a hurry to get out of there this morning. Says that. My name's Devin. I'm a lifelong inshore angler. Grew up in Louisiana. I'm a former charter captain. Dabbled a little bit in redfish tournaments. That was fun. And today I teach people how to fish Louisiana's coast. Like, I have this YouTube channel, but that isn't primarily what I do. The primary thing that I do is a membership called LAFB Elite, where I have my courses like Inshore Fishing 101, Inshore Fishing 201, Sight Fishing Mastery School, seasonal courses, you know, for fall, winter, summer, and spring, and a community that comes along with it, where we post fishing reports and help each other plan where to go fishing. Like, there's a one member named Boyce that I'll be giving a report to later today once I get home, because he wants to come out here tomorrow. And he's proven himself. Like, he's been coming down here, he's been fishing, he's been posting reports, he's been helpful. And I have a lot of respect for that, for someone who's going to take time to post fishing reports and help other people catch fish. And look, it doesn't have to be, a good fishing report does not include like exact spots. It's patterns and conditions and areas. And that's legit, because that's what I teach. I don't tell people, hey, just go fish in this spot right here, right now. What I do is I teach people who are willing to learn. I teach them how to fish the conditions. And the process that I teach, the tactics and techniques that I teach work. You know, and the last week I've been fishing in Chalmette, Slidell, Dularge, and now I'm back in Venice. And I've caught fish at all those places. And the only place I didn't catch a limit so far was here, but I'm just getting started. And then Slidell, I think I only caught like 8 or 9 speckled trout, but it was like the day a cold front hit, so conditions really weren't that great. Oh, little booger, come on back. I've got something for these fish too. If they get fired up enough, I've got an Alabama rig loaded up with like a bunch of 1 ounce jig heads. Let it get down there and try and catch several at a time. That is a nice eating size speckled trout. All right, Venice, I'm sorry for talking a hard game earlier. Sorry for talking smack earlier. Speckled trout number 4. There we go, just like that. How's that graph looking? Yeah, there's some bait balls on the graph. There's some fish on the graph. Good. There's a fish. Man, you hammered that bait down, huh? Speckled trout number 5. The jump is delivering. Well-known community honey hole, very well documented. I just want to show it to you guys. And you know that, like, this is an opportunity for you to come out here and practice the craft of like fishing deeper with. I'm all tangled to hell and back right now. Practice fishing deeper and faster moving water. You know, like if, for example, if you're experienced with fishing Seabrook, then you'll absolutely kick ass here, 1000%. Bang! Oh, that was a good bite. Oh, it's a little fish. Oh, it's a white trout. Oh no. Oh no. White trout are fine. It's just that I'm targeting speckled trout, and I just like to keep that, you know what I mean? But look, if you have fun catching white trout, more power to it. Like years ago, hang on, let me wipe off this camera. Years ago, when I used to be a guide, there was this gentleman, from Canada that I took fishing. It was just me and him, real easy charter. And we were posted up in Bayou Biloxi, and we got on a great white trout bite. You know, like you're gonna have your 10-inch white trout, you know, like white trout like that one I just caught, but there's the occasional 14-inch white trout in there, which is a nice white trout, right? And I was like, well, screw this. Let's go find speckled trout. Which to him, it wasn't any different. And I thought he was gonna fight me and I tried to pull that anchor up. He's like, why? Why would you leave? So we just stayed there and whacked the daylights out of the white trout and eventually left and caught speckled trout anyway, but he had a good time. That's what counts. What counts is not the pissing match with other charter captains, it's does the customer have a good time? That's a nice speckled trout. And right back down there. Thank you. Bang! I got another one right there. Man, that's a nice speckled trout, huh? And again, it's pale. They've just been sitting on that river bottom. 6 and 7. Yeah, when you put braided line on your spinning reels, like this braided line is that like olive color, and I just put it on because I have it. I have a bunch of line that's sitting around the garage. I don't want to, just want to burn through it. Don't want to buy new tackle. But with that said, put something bright on there, like a bright blue or chartreuse or whatever, because it's just so much easier to see those bites rather than having to feel for them. You want to be able, you want to look and feel. Nice, look at that speckle. See that purple sheen? I love that. I love these fish so much. They're so pretty. They are all a piece of art. So how did they manage to screw this rig up? Okay. Number 8. Water's really not dumping out that much here. That's very interesting. cast back out. I also hope that, you know, if you're watching this, I also hope that you had a moment to go to the homepage of my channel on YouTube and look at all the other channels it is that I'm subscribed to. Because there's a lot of good, we have more creators in Louisiana making awesome content than what you realize. Whether it's inshore fishing or it's duck hunting, even though the majority of the channels I'm subscribed to are all inshore fishing, but a lot of them do you know, bass fishing, duck hunting, and other things as well. Ooh. Speckled trout number 9. Moving up in the world, doing good things, having a blast. It is Venice, it is December, the river's well below 5 foot. The water looks good, not as good as it did last year, but I'll take it. Looks good. Love fishing in the river. Heavy drop shot makes it so much easier, such a clean rig. You don't need the latest Wackadoodle 3000, you just need a sparkle beetle. That's how good the fishing is. The majority of what I teach I'll tell you that the majority of what I teach revolves around 2 things. And the thing number 1 is safely navigating the marsh. If you can't, and out here in the river, if you can't get to your spots and back safely, then why are you even launching the boat? You know, if you're going to rip the luring net off your outboard, then what are you doing? All right, just hire a guide. So I teach that. But then after that, I teach just finding biting fish to begin with. If you have to tie on the latest Wackadoodle 3000, use a specific technique to catch them, and believe me, that's my forte. I love that. But what you should be able to find first is just fish that are biting. Doesn't really matter what you have on. You can have a little dumb chartreuse sparkle beetle on there, and you can catch them using that. What matters is getting a bait in front of them. And you know, if you're kind of skeptical about taking an online course for fishing, I understand, I get it. There is a free course that I have. That is on my website, but I also made it into a YouTube video, and I will have it linked up below so you can peruse that. It's about 25 minutes long, but what it's about is getting presentations on fish. Because you know what, you can come out here to these fish right now, and you can fish this with a like a 1/4 ounce jig head, jigging, you'll never catch them. You can throw a jerk bait, you'll never catch them. You can throw a popping cork, maybe even a sliding cork, you'll never catch them. Bang, and this is speckled trout number 10. We are in the double digits, baby. Probably will be for the rest of the day. Say probably because it could be one of those days where you just catch 100 speckled trout. I think last year, I forget how many we caught. Jamie and I came out here, I think we caught like 140 something like that. It was a lot, or maybe it was 120 something, but it was definitely 100 something. And him and I have had 100 fish days. What's up, man? Oh, man. Oh man, that fog is thick. Like, look out that way. You see the boat in the river, but you can't see the river. Yeah, I'm glad I stopped here before running out into that. My next boat, there's always the next boat, right? It's gonna have radar on it. I just love fishing down here too much to not have it. Seems like it would be just a neat tool to have. Solid bites. Just feels like a jolt of electricity coming up the line. It's good. I could probably loosen up that drag a little bit. Oh, I don't know if this guy's 13 or not. Come here, goober. Yeah, he's 13. Number 11. Now I know hanging this bait off the side of the boat, off the back of the boat works, but I really like getting just a little, casting a little ahead and then covering this water, because you're just covering that much more bottom, catch more fish that way. Just the risk is, the trade-off is that you might get snagged. What you can do to kind of help out with that is to tie that bank sinker on with a rubber band, so that way you lose just the sinker and not the entire rig, if just the sinker is snagged. Dude, what the hell's going on? It's like the water's like slacked out right here. That's not good. It's not slacked out, but it isn't moving that much. Yep. I'll tell you right now, if you don't like big wakes and boats that throw them and all that, don't come to Venice. Maybe go pond fishing on a golf course somewhere. But out here, you're just gonna, especially in the jump. I mean, fishing the jump is like fishing. It's like hunting an interstate for deer. You're gonna just have lots of traffic. Now it's been a minute since I caught a fish, but you know what? We're just going to be patient. We're just going to wait. They'll come back through. They're probably running up and down a contour line, and they'll come back. Bang, there we go. Like a bolt lightning right up that line. Well, that's a trout right there. Man, look at that speckled trout number 12. Cool dozen. Stick with it. Nice. Speckled trout number 13 going back in the water. So you guys can come out here and catch them. I would love for that. I would love to see a report. I think I'm going to be seeing one from Boyce here in a little bit. That'd be amazing. I hope he comes out here and whacks them. 'em. 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 ' right back down there. So I tell you what, let's do this. Let's, you know, hopefully we'll be lucky enough to finish out a limit. And then I want to throw that A-rig down there. I've been trying forever to get trout to bite a dang A-rig. And I've taken it like a normally weighted A-rig and tossed it into like a flock of birds or shrimp jumping, and trout like just scatter. They don't have nothing to do with it. I think the Venice trout might be a little different though, so I'm going to try that out. This thing will definitely get down there. It'll just be a mop of jigs just laying on the bottom. Oh, come on, booger. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I just saw a bait ball go by. That's good. Ooh. Well, if that's a fish, that's a nice one. He's got to be foul hooked. Yeah. Boy, that counts. Boy, that counts. You catch him by the tail like that, that counts. That guy ain't 13 though. There ain't no way. Whew, little booger. Man, they're whacking it. I might put some spray on it just to make sure they fully commit to it. Instead of going a 1/4 inch down the sparkle beetle, they go all the inches down the sparkle beetle, if that makes sense. Tell you what, I know I got a 1 ounce weight on, but it actually might be in my interest to, a sparkle beetle came off. Well, it might actually be in my interest to put like a 1/2 ounce or 3/4 ounce on, just so it can flow with the water a little bit better. So if you're out here, that might, and you're fishing a heavy drop shot, that might be a tweak you want to make. I think you know, this is working. So like, if it ain't fixed, if it ain't broken, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't fix it if it ain't broke. However that saying goes. Nah, just get it down there. But that is a little tweak and tackle that might be a good idea. If you're out here and let's just say it's a slower day and you just need to do that 3% better to catch fish, that's something you could do. Let me do a quick battery swap. We'll put a little bit of spray on that bait. Come on. Audio sync. Awesome. Well, I wish more boats would go by. I mean, I know I'm in the jump, but dude, it's like back and forth, back and forth. That's why I swapped out the chest cam batteries. It's like, I gotta keep this chest cam rolling. If y'all watch on the boat cam in the back, while these wakes are rolling through, you're gonna get seasick, throw up on yourself. Man, something's telling me, I don't know why the water isn't dumping out right here. Should be. But I might try and scoot out and more in a little deeper water where maybe the water's moving a little bit better. But dude, like, it just might be me, but it seems like it's slacked up a little bit. What? Tell you what, look at that croaker. So that's probably what they're eating down there. Maybe not croaker this size, even though they certainly could eat a croaker that big. But there's probably fin fish. Remember what I was talking about earlier? About how they're coming off a shrimp and they'll start eating fin fish? Yeah, so croaker is one kind of fin fish, and there's pot belly minnows, there's silver sides, bay chovies. Maybe it's the same thing, I don't remember. I said pot belly minnows, violet gobies. And if you never fished a live croaker before, even though that one was kind of big, you could use one that big. But I like ones that are a little smaller than that and hook them through their back, and that's a lot of fun. Where's my hat at? That sounds bright. Yeah, we're gonna reposition the boat real quick, like. I know where I want to be. I got a waypoint for it. I'm kind of off of it a little bit. There's some bait or something down there. That's good. So you see, like, what are we working on? Like the last 2 fish. So you see how, like, this is why I stress to people, like, you know, get that bait back in the water. Like, y'all want to catch a limit, and now's the time. Stop jaw jacking. Don't take pics. Save your pictures for Instagram for later. Text your girlfriend later. Start your Taylor Swift playlist later. Let's catch these fish. That fish is way back there. I'm definitely in a, just coming off the bank a little bit. I got back in a better moving water. Oh no, did he come off? Did he come off? No, he's still there. Boink. Because if we're gonna beat Devin from yesterday, we gotta catch this last fish. What'd you just throw up there, bud? A little shrimp? We gotta catch 15 like now. Because it's 7:40 and yesterday I limited out for 7:45. Speckled trout number 14. Come on. Remember, the faster moving water, it isn't so much that the speckled trout like the moving water, so much as your bait can sweep along the bottom and you cover more ground, you really get more presentations. So if there's a fish under the boat, you'll show the bait to that fish. If there's a fish just behind the boat, you'll show the bait to that fish. If there's a fish way behind the boat like that one was, he'll see it too. Oh great, all these mosquitoes are coming out and getting me now. If that water isn't moving, you're just hanging the bait off the back of the boat, then you're just pretty much waiting for the fish to swim to you. go. Feels small because it is. I'll measure them anyway. You never know. Oh man, there ain't no way. There ain't no way. Yeah, good. Would have been a keeper last year, not this year. Oh shoot, water temperature right here and the jump's 54 degrees. Well, that's a lot colder, isn't it? That's because, man, what did I say it was in there? Was it 57? Inside the harbor? Man, that's, it's cooler here because this river water's coming down from up north where it's colder. Wow, that's wild. That's a big difference. As long as it stays in the 50s like that, like this, and the river stays down, you're going to have this good fishing in the jump and elsewhere. You know, the idea behind the jump and the idea behind showing you the jump is that, okay, now you see how it is we catch trout here. You're kind of like fishing contour lines in the river. You know, like my last video, I was fishing a contour up against the bank, and kind of like a ledge in a way, but not really. Fishing in that deeper, faster moving water, even though this water isn't ripping incredibly hard right here. And if you can take the pattern that's here, if you understand how to fish this and you understand how to fish the rest of the river, you just need to go do it. And then you can go find your own fishing spots. This isn't the only way to fish and catch speckled trout, but it's one such way, and it works. But boy, it is not working for trout number 15 right now. Jeez. Some other good advice that you ought to consider is that if you're going to come out here, you need to make sure your trolling motor is good to go. Like, if that thing can't scream on the highest setting for, you know, an hour straight, then you need to get your wiring fixed or your batteries fixed or get the trolling motor serviced, whatever. Bang. That's a wrap, folks. That's speckled trout number 15. But I want to throw that A-rig real quick, like, and see what happens. I'm curious, like a cat. Jeez, man, got him right in that bony part of his mouth. There we go. Bang. Folks at home, that's speckled trout number 15 in the jump, going back in the water so you guys can come out here. Y'all can come out here and catch that fish and many other that are like it. Look, I'm gonna throw that A-rig next, but if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. You've got to let me know. Tell me what your favorite part was in the comments, or if you have your own advice for fishing the jump, please share that so other people can benefit from it. Because if y'all let me know that you like these videos, I'll keep making them. But if you don't let me know, then I have other things I can do, man. And if you want to know when the next video goes live, because after I throw this A-rig, I'm going to go rocketing into that wild blue yonder, into that fog, and we're going to go find more speckled trout spots. If you want to know when that video goes live, then please subscribe and ring that bell for all notifications. And if you'd like to learn everything it is that I know to finding and catching speckled trout and redfish right here on Louisiana's coast, then please consider joining my membership, LAFB Elite. Tight lines, and thank you for watching. Now, let's do that A-rig real quick, like. It's called an A-rig, short for Alabama rig. And the idea behind it is that it is mimicking a school of bait fish. Because the idea here is that, you know, because this originates from the realm of bass fishing, right? And the idea here is that you know, bass will just see one bait and he's like, yeah, I'm not going to bite that. But if you give him a school, then he'll be like, okay, I'll bite that. Spinnerbait kind of operates on the same principle, but it's obviously a spinnerbait obviously doesn't have the same, you know, signature, the same footprint as this here A-rig that I am currently trying to get out of its keeper. Watch the trout just nail this repeatedly over and over again. I was throwing that drop shot for nothing this whole time. Yeah, that is weighted right there. Let's do that. Probably just gonna break off my A-rig. But you know, I got this tackle because I used to bass fish a whole bunch. So I would learn a lot in bass fishing, and then I would take what I learned there and bring it here to the realm of inshore fishing. And I did that because my experience being a charter captain is that the best, like, easiest customers I had were all bass anglers from out of state. They really were. It wasn't, I hate to break y'all's heart with this information, but it was not locals. So some of the toughest people to have on the boat in terms of like their ability to catch fish was locals, because they thought they knew it all. And the best way to fish is to have an open mind and realize you don't know it all. So I got this, you know, I used to go up to the Tennessee River and other places, and I just had a bunch of different bass tackle that you wouldn't really use for inshore fishing, the A-rig being one, and just been sitting in my garage. I'm like, there's got to be a way I could put this thing to work. There's got to be a way that I can put it to work. What's up, man? There's got to be some way to make this thing work in the realm of inshore fishing. There has to be. This is like literally just going to get 3 casts. Or 3 drops. This thing's kind of big to cast. Let that line out. Seen way so much, I'm not even sure if I'm going to even know when a trout hits it. Do I have a fish on? Oh no! Oh no! Oh, just kiss $20 goodbye. Oh, it came off. Thank goodness. I thought I was hung up. All right. I'm gonna do one final drop off the back of the boat. I just don't think, you know, like the bite here is good. And you kind of got a glimpse earlier as to like how good it can be, where just like bang, every drop, bang, you're just whacking a trout. But you know, it could be better further down that away. Like I see some birds down that away, certainly more boats. Boats can just line the shoreline of this whole thing and they'll all be catching. So maybe it's better down there. But I'm not really having much confidence in this thing and whacking a bunch of trout. It would be, I mean, there's 5 jig heads on it, so it'd be cool to catch a limit of 3 casts, right? Okay, well, you know what? Maybe next time. Maybe next time. Maybe here in this next video, if I find a good white hot trout bite, I'll drop this bad boy down and we'll see if we can't do something amazing with it. Again, guys, if y'all like this video, please let me know. Give it a thumbs up. Tell me what it is that you liked about it. And if you want to know when the next one here goes live, when I punch out of that fog in the Mississippi River, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for all notifications. Tight lines, and thank you for watching.